beep, 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 that sound, that relentless, mechanical rhythm. It was the first thing that pulled me out of the darkness. It wasn't a voice, it wasn't a warm hand holding mine. It was just that machine. I tried to open my eyes, it felt like someone had glued my lashes together. My head was throbbing, a deep, dull ache that pulsed in time with that machine. Where am I? I tried to lift my right hand to touch my forehead. Nothing happened. I sent the signal from my brain to my arm. Move. It didn't move. It felt heavy, encased, panic cold. Sharp panic flooded my chest. It was instant, like a bucket of ice water dumped over my soul. I tried to gasp, but my throat was dry like sandpaper. A tube. There was a tube in my nose. She's waking up. That voice. My stomach churned. I knew that voice. It was the voice that had narrated every humiliation of my life. Tyler. My eyes finally cracked open. The light was blinding, fluorescent daggers stabbing into my pupils. I blinked, tears instantly forming in the corners of my eyes. The blurry shapes coalesced into faces. My mother, looking terrified, clutching a tissue to her nose. My father, arms crossed, staring at the floor, looking more annoyed than worried. And Tyler, my older brother, he was leaning against the windowsill, chewing gum. He was wearing that stupid smirk, the one he wore when he put salt in my coffee, the one he wore when he deleted my college thesis by accident. Finally, Tyler said he popped a bubble. Sleeping Beauty returns. I tried to speak. It came out as a croak. Water. Mom rushed forward. She held a cup with a bent straw to my lips. Slowly. Honey, slowly. Oh, thank God. I drank. The water was lukewarm, but it felt like heaven. What? I coughed. The pain in my ribs flared up, a sharp, jagged spike of agony that made me cry out. What happened? The room went silent. The beeping of the monitor sped up. Beep, beep, beep. My heart rate was climbing. I looked down at my body. My right arm was in a thick plaster cast, elevated on a pillow. My left leg, I couldn't see it under the sheets, but I could feel the weight of a traction device. Why can't I feel my toes? I whispered. Mom looked away. She couldn't meet my eyes. Dad cleared his throat. You had a fall, Sarah, a bad one. A fall? I rasped. I closed my eyes, forcing my brain to rewind. The new house, my first house. I had just bought it. The housewarming party. I was at the top of the stairs, the big, beautiful oak staircase I was so proud of. I was carrying the box of crystal glasses. Grandma left me then. Darkness, no, not darkness. A noise, a deafening air horn right in my ear, and a shove. My eyes snapped open. I stared at Tyler. You, I said. My voice wasn't weak anymore. It was trembling with rage. You pushed me. Tyler laughed. He actually laughed. Whoa. Relax, drama queen, he said, pushing off the windowsill. I didn't push you. I bumped you. It was a prank. I got it on video. You should have seen your face before you went down. I stared at him. I tried to process the words. It was a prank. I'm in the ICU. I said, yeah, well, nobody told you to fall like a sack of potatoes. Tyler scoffed. I thought you'd catch the railing. You're so uncoordinated. Tyler. Mom hissed, but it wasn't angry. It was pleading. Not now. What? Tyler threw his hands up. She's fine. Look, she's talking. Doctors said she'd probably walk again in like 6 months. It's not a big deal. 6 months? The room spun. Get out. I whispered. Sarah, honey, Mom started, reaching for my uninjured hand. He didn't mean it, you know. Your brother, he's just playful. I broke my back? I asked. Did I break my back? 3 vertebrae, Dad said. He checked his watch. And a shattered tibia and a fractured wrist, but the spinal cord is intact. Mostly it was a joke, Tyler said, seemingly offended that I wasn't laughing. I was going to post it. New homeowner fails. It would have gone viral. Sarah, you have no sense of humor. I looked at the cast on my arm, the arm I used to design graphics, my livelihood. I looked at my leg, the leg I used to run marathons, my passion. I looked at my brother, and for the first time in 26 years, I didn't see a pest. I didn't see an annoyance. I saw a monster. Get him out. I said. Every word was a struggle against the pain meds and the rage. We just got here. Dad grumbled. Don't start causing a scene, Sarah. We've been sitting in this waiting room for 12 hours. I said, get out. I screamed. The machine went crazy. Nurses rushed in. Out. I shrieked, tears streaming down my face. Get him away from me. As the nurses ushered my family out, I made eye contact with Tyler one last time. He rolled his eyes. He mouthed the word crazy. I lay back against the pillows, sobbing. The pain was unbearable, but the realization was worse. He didn't care. He put me here. And he didn't care the hospital nights were the longest, the nurses were kind, but they were busy most of the time. I was alone with my thoughts, and my thoughts were dangerous. I replayed the incident over and over. I had bought the house 2 weeks ago. It was a fixer-upper, but it was mine. I had saved for 5 years eating instant noodles, working double shifts. At the design agency freelancing on weekends, I wanted a sanctuary, a place away from them. My parents loved me, I think, but they worshiped Tyler, the firstborn Tyler. The high school football star who blew out his knee and never let us forget the glory days, Tyler, who couldn't hold a job for more than 3 months because every boss was an idiot. I was the safety net when Tyler couldn't make rent. Sarah, can you loan him $500? He's good for I've never paid me back when Tyler got a DUI. Sarah, can you pick him up? Don't tell the neighbors I drove him home while he puked in my back seat. It was always just Tyler being Tyler. And the pranks, God, the pranks, it started when we were kids. The rubber snake in my bed was funny, locking me in the basement with the lights off for 3 hours when I was 7. That wasn't funny. I developed a phobia of the dark that lasted until college. Mom said I needed to toughen up, cutting off my braids while I slept the night before school picture day. Dad said, "It's just hair, Sarah, it grows back." It always escalated, and now this. I looked at the ceiling tiles. I counted the dots. 1, 2, 3. The doctor had come in earlier that morning. Dr. Evans, he was grim. Sarah, he had said, looking at his clipboard, "We need to discuss the surgery." Surgery? You have a spiral fracture in your tibia. We need to insert a rod in your wrist. The scaphoid bone is crushed. You'll need pins. And my back? Bed rest, a brace, physical therapy, extensive physical therapy. When can I work? He hesitated. What do you do? Graphic design, illustration. He looked at my right hand, my dominant hand, the one currently encased in plaster, throbbing with a heartbeat of its own. It's going to be a while before you have the fine motor skills for illustration. He said softly, "Maybe a year, maybe longer." My career gone just like that because Tyler thought it would be funny to blast an air horn and shoved me down the stairs. I reached for my phone with my left hand, my clumsy, non-dominant hand. It was on the bedside table. The screen was cracked. It must have been in my pocket when I fell. I unlocked it. Notifications, hundreds of them, texts from friends. "Are you okay? We heard what happened." And a notification from Instagram. Tyler_the_king tagged you in a post. My blood ran cold. I opened the app. There it was, a video. The caption read, "Housewarming prank gone wrong. Hashtag fail, hashtag ouch, hashtag sisters." I pressed play. The video was shaky. It was filmed from behind a banister. I saw myself. I looked happy. I was holding the box of Grandma's crystal. I was smiling, looking at the crown molding. So pretty. I heard myself say on the video then, Tyler stepping out from the shadows. He had an air horn in one hand and the phone in the other. BLAAAAART. The sound was distorted on the phone speakers on screen. I jumped, my body jerked. Then Tyler's hand entered the frame. He didn't just bump. May watched it in slow motion. I scrubbed the video back. He lunged. He pushed my shoulder hard. He stumbled. My foot caught the edge of the top step. My arms flailed. The box of crystal went flying. I saw my face, the sheer terror, and then I disappeared backward down the stairs. The camera shook as Tyler laughed. "Oh, snap!" Wiping out. The video didn't cut when I hit the bottom. It kept rolling. It showed me lying in a heap at the bottom of the landing. My leg twisted at a sickening angle, blood pooling under my head. I wasn't moving, and Tyler, he didn't drop the phone. He walked down the stairs, filming. "Yo, Sarah, you good?" He zoomed in on my unconscious face. "Damn, she's out cold," he narrated. "That was brutal." The video ended. 2,000 views. Comments. "Bro, is she dead?" LML, "Look at the way she flew." Fake, totally staged. Dude, call an ambulance. He had posted I had put me in the ICU, destroyed my body, ruined my career, and he posted it for clout. I felt a fire ignite in my belly. It wasn't the warm fire of comfort. It was a wildfire, destructive, consuming. I took a screenshot. Then I dialed a number not my parents'. 911, "What is your emergency?" "No," I whispered, then cleared my throat. "I don't have an emergency. I want to report a crime. I want to speak to an officer about an assault." The officer arrived 2 hours later. Officer Miller. He was older, kind eyes, tired face. He stood by my bed, notebook in hand. "Miss Jenkins?" "Yes, you wanted to file a report?" Yes, against my brother Tyler Jenkins. Officer Miller clicked his pen. Okay, tell me what happened. I told him everything, the housewarming, the stairs, the air horn, the shove. It wasn't an accident, I said. He pushed me. Did you argue beforehand? No, he was hiding. Waiting for me to scare me? I fumbled with my phone. He posted a video. I have the proof. I showed him the video. Officer Miller watched it. His expression changed from polite interest to stone-cold seriousness. He watched it 3 times. He filmed you unconscious? Yes. And he posted this online? Yes, Miss Jenkins. He paused. This is reckless endangerment, at the very least possibly aggravated assault. I want to press charges. I said. The door to my hospital room burst open. It wasn't a nurse, it was Dad and Mom. They looked frantic. Sarah. Mom gasped. She saw the police officer. Her face went pale. Oh no, Sarah. What are you doing? Who called you? I asked. The front desk said the police were here for you, Dad said. He stepped between me and Officer Miller. Officer, there's been a misunderstanding. This is a family matter. I'm afraid it's not, sir, Officer Miller said. Your daughter is the victim of a crime. A crime? Dad scoffed. It was a prank. They were horsing around. Kids do that. I am 26 years old, I said. I am not a kid. Sarah, please. Mom was crying now. Think about what you're doing. This is your brother. You can't send your brother to jail. He sent me to the hospital, I yelled. Look at me, Mom. Look at my leg. He's sorry, Mom wailed. He's at home crying right now. He's at home checking his likes on Instagram. I corrected her. He posted the video. Mom, he filmed me bleeding. Mom stopped crying. She blinked. He posted it? Yes, well, Dad interjected, desperate to regain control. He probably just wanted to document the accident for insurance or something. Look, officer, we can handle this internally. We don't need the courts involved. Officer Miller looked at me. He ignored my father completely. Miss Jenkins, the decision is entirely yours. Do you want to proceed with the report? The room felt small, suffocating. My father was glaring at me, the look that said, don't you dare defy Memmy. Mother was weeping. The ultimate weapon of guilt. I looked at the traction device holding my shattered leg together. I thought about the year of rehab, the lost job, the pain, and I thought about Tyler's smirk. Yes, I said, I want to press charges and I want a restraining order. Sarah, Dad shouted, you are tearing this family apart? No, I said, my voice cold as ice. Tyler did that when he pushed me down the stairs. Officer Miller turned to my parents. Folks, I'm going to have to ask you to step outside so I can finish taking the victim's statement. If you continue to yell, I'll have you removed from the hospital. Dad's face turned purple. He pointed a finger at me. You'll regret this. You are ruining his life over a mistake. He ruined mine on purpose. I replied. They left as the door closed. I felt a weight lift. But another weight settled in its place. The war had just begun. 3 days later, I was still in the hospital. The surgery on my leg had gone well, according to the surgeons. But the pain was a living thing. It lived in my marrow. I hadn't heard from my parents since the police officer kicked him out, but Tyler had been arrested. Officer Miller called to tell me he was booked on charges of aggravated assault and reckless endangerment. He was out on bail the same day. My parents paid it. Of course, Dee Dee was lying in bed, trying to eat green jello, when a man in a suit walked in. He wasn't a doctor. Sarah Jenkins. Yes? I'm Mark Davis. I'm an attorney. I frowned. I didn't call a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. I know. He said. He pulled up a chair. I saw the video. It was sent to me by a mutual friend, actually. By your boss at the design agency, Linda sent. You? She's worried about you. She knows you're going to be out of work for a long time. She wanted to make sure you were protected. He opened a briefcase. Sarah, I'm going to be blunt. Do you have health insurance? Yes, through my job. Good, but that won't cover everything. The ambulance, the ICU, the surgery, the rehab, the lost wages. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. My stomach dropped. I have savings. Do you have 200,000 in savings? I stared at him. No, your insurance company is going to subrogate. Mark explained, meaning, once they find out this was caused by a third party, your brother, they are going to go after him to get their money back. But that doesn't help you. With your deductible, your pain and suffering, or your lost income, he paused. You need to sue him, Sarah. Sue my brother? He has liability insurance, doesn't he? Or your parents do. If the incident happened at your home, it's tricky, but if he has assets, he has a trust fund. I said quietly Grandpa had left it. It was supposed to be for both of us, but Tyler got his half early because he needed to start a business. He blew it on a sports car and a failed crypto scheme, but there was still some left, and my parents, they had money, and, Mark continued, your parents are enabling this if you don't take a stand now financially. You will be paying for his prank for the next 10 years of your life. Can you afford that? I looked at the ceiling. Can I afford to lose my house, my credit score, my future? No, I said. Then we file, Mark said. Civil lawsuit, personal injury. Battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. How much? Mark looked at my leg, then at my arm. Given the malice? Given the video evidence? We start at $250,000, but we aim higher. Do it. I saw it a week later. I was discharged. I couldn't go back to my house. I couldn't climb the stairs. I had to go to a rehabilitation center, a nursing home. Basically, at 26th day one arrived. My phone rang. It was Mama. I debated not answering, but I needed to hear it. I needed to know where they stood. Hello? Sarah? Her voice was tight. Are you out of the hospital? I'm at a rehab center. Mom, I can't walk. We need to talk. Okay, Tyler received some papers today, the lawsuit. Okay, Sarah, you have to stop this. You have to drop this lawsuit and the criminal charges. Why would I do that? Because he's your brother. You are destroying his future. He can't get a job with a criminal record and this lawsuit? $250,000? Do you know what that will do to him? He has a trust fund, Mom, or what's left of it. The money is for his future, for his wedding, for his house. I bought a house. I screamed into the phone. I bought a house and he threw me down the stairs of it. What about my future? It was an accident, Mom yelled back. He was just trying to be funny. Why are you so sensitive? You always have to be the victim. Silence, the words hung in the air. You always have to be the victim. I am the victim, I said, my voice shaking. I am in a wheelchair. I am peeing into a pan because I can't get to the bathroom. I am the victim because your son victimized me. If you don't drop this, Mom said, her voice dropping to a low, threatening register I had never heard before. We are done. We will cut you off. No inheritance, no help, nothing. You will be dead to us. My heart broke. It actually felt like it cracked in my chest. They were choosing him after everything. After he almost killed me, they were choosing him. I looked out the window of the rehab center. It was raining. Mom. Yes, Sarah? She sounded hopeful, like she thought the threat worked. Save your money. I said, you're going to need it for Tyler's legal fees. I hung up. Then I blocked her number. I blocked Dad's number, and I lay there in the silence, listening to the rain. And I realized I was an orphan now, but I was an orphan with a Larry. The legal process is slow. It's a grind. Months passed. I was doing PT every day. Learning to walk again was agony. It felt like walking on broken glass, but I did it. Every step was a screw you to Tyler. My lawyer, Mark, called me into his office. 4 months later, I wheeled myself in. We got the discovery back. Mark said he looked angry. Tyler's deposition. What did he say? He claimed you tripped. He claimed the video was edited. He claimed he tried to catch you, liar. But Mark smiled, a shark-like smile. We subpoenaed his texts. He slid a packet of paper across the desk. Read the highlighted section. These are texts. Between Tyler and his friend, Brad. Sent 10 minutes before you arrived at the house. I picked up the paper, Tyler. She's pulling up. I greased the top step with WD-40. This is going to be epic, Brad. Dude, isn't that dangerous? Tyler. Nah, she just slip and bust her ass. I need the content. My channel is dying. I read it again. I greased the top step. It wasn't just a shove. It wasn't just an air horn. He had rigged the stairs. He had premeditated it. He greased the step. I whispered. The police missed it because the cleaners came in the next day. Mark said, but he admitted it in writing. This isn't negligence anymore, Sarah. This is malice. We have him. He did it for content. He wanted a viral video. I felt sick. I actually dry-heaved me pain, my broken bones. My destroyed family, all for a YouTube video. What does this mean for the case? I asked. It means we aren't settling for $250,000. Mark said, we're amending the complaint. We're going for punitive damages. We're going for everything. The court date for the civil trial arrived 8 months after the fall. I walked into the courtroom. I was using a cane. but I was walking. Tyler was there. He was wearing a suit that didn't fit right. My parents were on either side of him, like bodyguards. They looked tired. The legal bills were bleeding them dry when I walked in. Mom looked up, her eyes filled with tears when she saw the cane. She made a move to stand up. To come to me, Dad grabbed her arm and pulled her down. He glared at May, didn't look at them. I looked at Tyler. He wasn't smirking anymore. He looked small, scared. The trial was brutal. They played the video. The jury gasped when I hit the bottom of the stairs. They read the texts. I greased the top step. The jury looked at Tyler with disgust. My doctor testified about my permanent nerve damage, about the fact that I would always have a limp, about the fact that I could never run a marathon again. Then it was Tyler's turn to take the stand. My lawyer, Mark, was merciless. Mr. Jenkins, did you love your sister? Yes, Tyler mumbled. Is that why you greased the stairs she was about to walk up? It was a joke, Tyler snapped. It was just a prank. Is a shattered tibia a prank, Mr. Jenkins? Is a spinal injury a punchline? I didn't mean for her to get hurt that bad. But you intended for her to fall? Yes, but not like that. And when she fell, Mark said, leaning in, when she was lying in a pool of blood, did you call 911? No. What did you do? Tyler looked at the floor. I asked you a question. What did you do? I kept filming. Why? Because Tyler started crying, fake, sniveling tears. I don't know. I think you do know, Mark said. Because you needed the content, isn't that right? Objection. The defense lawyer shouted, but the damage was done. The jury had seen him for what he was waiting for. The verdict was the longest hour of my life. I sat on a bench outside the courtroom. My mother came out. She stood 10 feet away. Sarah, she said. I didn't look up. He's going to go to jail, isn't he? The criminal trial is next month. This testimony, they'll use it. Probably, I said. How can you live with yourself? She asked. Her voice was trembling. Sending your own brother to prison. I stood up. I leaned on my cane. I walked over to Harry, looked her in the eye. He greased the stairs. Mom, he wanted me to fall. He wanted me to get hurt so strangers on the internet would like him. He's sick, Mom whispered. He needs help. Not prison. You had 20 years to help him, I said. You had 20 years to teach him that actions have consequences. Instead, you taught him that he could do whatever he wanted, and I would pay the price well. The bill has finally come due, and I'm not paying it this time. The bailiff opened the door. The jury has reached a verdict. We went back inside. We, the jury, find in favor of the plaintiff. Sarah Jenkins, my breath hitched. We award the plaintiff $350,000 in compensatory damages for medical bills and lost wages. My knees felt weak. And the foreman continued, looking directly at Tyler. We award the plaintiff $15 million in punitive damages for the defendant's malicious and intentional conduct. $185 million. The courtroom erupted. Tyler put his head in his hands. Dad looked like he was having a heart attack. I just sat there. It wasn't about the money. I would have traded every cent to have my leg back, to have a family that loved me. But as I looked at Tyler, weeping into his hands, not because he was sorry, but because he was broke, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Just as 2 years later, I was sitting on the balcony of my new apartment. It had an elevator, no stairs. The sun was setting. I took a sip of wind. The lawsuit had bankrupted Tyler. He had to sell his car, his stuff. My parents had to refinance their house to pay part of the judgment. But the rest came from garnishing his future wages. Not that he had any wages. He was currently serving 18 months in county jail for aggravated assault. My parents still didn't talk to me. They sent a Christmas card last year. It just said, praying for your soul. I burned. Heidi looked down at my leg. The scar was still there, a long, jagged pink line running down my shin. It ached when it rained. I couldn't run anymore, but I had started swimming. I was good at it. My design business was back up and running. I had hired an assistant. I picked up my phone. I opened Instagram. I had started my own channel, not for pranks, for survivors. I posted videos about recovery, about toxic families, about setting boundaries, how to walk away from people who hurt you. 100,000 views. I smiled. My phone buzzed. A text from Mark, my lawyer. Just a heads up, Tyler is up for parole next week. Do you want to make a statement? I looked at the sunset. Did I want to waste more breath on him? Did I want to give him another second of my time? I typed back, no, he doesn't exist to May, put the phone down. The air was cool. The city was quiet. I was alone, but for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was free.